the screen for a reason. The Iranian foreign minister, who seems to be really the guy in charge, or at least publicly for Iran, just fired this off in a post on X, and I'm going to read it for you now. In line with the ceasefire in Lebanon, the passage for all commercial vessels through Strait of Hormuz is declared completely open for the remaining period of ceasefire on the coordinated route as already announced by Ports and Maritime Organization of the Islamic Republic of Iran. So on that news, the stock market is flying through the roof. That opens in 28 minutes, so we'll watch that. Now, while this is happening, the U.S. has brokered a 10-day ceasefire on the screen for a reason.
Well, there it is. Not a panel debate, not a think piece. That's a real-world impact right there. The strait opens. Oil reacts. Markets are moving. And somehow, we're supposed to act like that's nothing. You ever notice how fast a global crisis turns into no big deal once the outcome doesn't fit the script? Tell you what, though. Hold that thought.
But all I want to see is I want to have a safe world. And you're not going to have a safe world. Israel will be gone. The Middle East will be gone, and then they're coming for Europe. And I have to tell you, I'm very disappointed in NATO, very. I think that NATO, I think it's a mark on NATO that will never disappear in my mind. You know, they're coming to see me on Wednesday. They're going to say, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. Now they all of a sudden want to send things, you know. But they said it loud and clear at the beginning when I spoke to UK of all. I would have said they would have been the first because they're the oldest. And I say, yeah, I'd love to have a little help. He said, no, sir, we'd rather wait till you win. I said, I don't need help after we win. They have 2 old broken aircraft carriers, barely work. I said, I guess we can use them. Who the hell knows? I called the general. He didn't even want them. He said, we don't really need them. We got the SS Abraham Lincoln, sir. We don't need them. Do you know, we have, in terms of technology, we had one day 101 missiles going at 2,700 miles an hour, aimed at the Abraham Lincoln. 101 missiles. Out of 101 missiles, 101 missiles were shot down. Unbelievable technology. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't know if that would have been possible. But 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been possible. 101 missiles heading to a ship that's not that far off the coast. And out of the 101 missiles, we shot down all 101. We have weaponry. The Patriots are unbelievable. We have weaponry that's unbelievable, yeah.
Now, this part, this is where it gets funny, right? They call after everything's handled. Then I'm going to show up like, yeah, we were part of the solution. I'm going to read this right here, exactly what he wrote, even though we just heard him speak. He wrote, now that Hormuz Strait situation is over. Now that the Hormuz Strait situation is over, I received a call from NATO asking if we would need help. I told them stay away unless they just want to load up their ships with oil. They were useless when needed. A paper tiger, President DJT. That's like somebody watching you put out a fire, then asking if you need help holding the hose. And people wonder why nobody takes these people seriously anymore, man.
Either the issue of Iran obtaining a nuclear weapon is resolved diplomatically through a negotiation, or it's resolved through force, through war.
Iran is already close to a nuclear weapon, 2 to 3 months away, according to U.S. experts.
Message to Iran's leaders. The United States will never allow you to acquire a nuclear weapon. As president, I will take whatever actions are necessary to protect the United States and our allies. I will not hesitate to take military action if Iran attempts to obtain a nuclear weapon. And I will set up my successor to be able to credibly make the same pledge. We will make clear to Iran that our national commitment to prevention will not waver depending on who's in office.
2 more things. You were asked on 60 Minutes about the biggest threat.
that the world faces, that the U.S. faces. This is what you said.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands, okay? This attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles. What we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities.
Nah. Don't switch it up now. Don't do that. Because these are the same voices, same parties, same playbook. All options on the table. Whatever it takes, military if necessary. That wasn't whispered. That was policy. And they were all behind it. What changed? Seriously, what changed? Because the words didn't.
I have a question to the liberals real quick. When are you guys going to put the crack pipe down? When are you guys going to stop sucking the filament out of that fucking crack pipe and wake up and smell the fucking fresh air? Because who the fuck sits there and thinks that it's a good idea to protest against a person who is trying to advocate for human rights that a regime did not allow those people to have? So the same rights that you have of protesting, these people couldn't. Yet you use that same right to protest against someone who's like, this shit does not make no fucking sense. You guys are weird. You guys are so fucking weird. I will never understand how a human being can be born and be this fucking stupid. I mean, I heard that we don't use all of our brain power, but you guys use none of it. Just none of it. How did you make it this far in life being like that? Someone had to help assist yo dumbass. Someone had to help assist you being that dumb. There's no way you have a credit score. There's no way you have a house. There's no way you're able to learn to walk. There's no way you know how to speak. Well, you don't. But there's no way you have been this far in life, this fucking stupid. It's not even about a viewpoint no more. It's literally about common sense. And you don't even fucking have that. But you guys will prepare. You guys will prepare so much and spend 24/7 of your time protesting, getting signs ready, getting whistles ready, blowing the fuck out these whistles and being just weird as fuck. Why don't you go take that shit to Iran? Go show your solidarity to them. Go over there. We'll see how quickly, if you do, if you're able to make it back, but we'll see how quickly you're able to come back. We'll see how quickly it takes you to get back to the United States and realize that you done fucked up. And again, just in case you make it back.
I know that's right. And this is where it all starts falling apart. Because now it's not even about consistency anymore. It's about control of the narrative. You can't say you stand for freedom, then get uncomfortable when it actually shows up. You can't say you're against oppression, then argue against removing it. At some point, people stop listening to what you say and start watching what you do. And right now, that gap, man, it's getting real wide.
There's a blockade, yes, and it's effective. But it's not benefiting the United States in terms of access or any of our allies around the world.
If they succumb
so
to
where
pressure,
is the victory there, and how can this
Can I ask you a question? Do you want us to win? Do you want us to defeat these people?
I always want the U.S. to win.
Because it sounds to me like you are cheering for a bad outcome.
Could you define what win looks like?
Because all you can seem to do is define negativity.
What win looks like.
Here's what win looks like. These fanatics don't get a nuclear weapon. Period. Full stop. That's a win.
But the president said that they didn't have
the American people deserve to know why our troops are there. What is it exactly that we're fighting for?
We're going to stop them from getting
the straits were open
a nuclear weapon
before the war.
It has nothing to do with the strait. It's a nuclear weapon.
That has always been our mission. But there was no imminent threat.
Sure there was.
There was no imminent threat.
Val, they have missiles that can reach most of Europe. Do you not consider that to be an imminent threat?
There was no imminent threat to the United States.
We don't have bases and troops in Europe and all over the region?
Man, look at this. They're not even debating facts anymore. They're arguing over whether they're allowed to call it a win. I'm telling you, Scott Jennings, man, he does not get paid enough for being up there. But he's a national treasure, I'll tell you that. That's where we at, though. Not did something improve. Not did this move the needle. It's, are we allowed to admit it, basically? And when it gets to that point, you're not dealing with analysis anymore. You're dealing with denial. So I'm going to show y'all this. Trump just posted, the USA will get all nuclear dust created by our great B-2 bombers. No money will exchange hands in any way, shape, or form. This deal is in no way subject to Lebanon either, but the USA will separately work with Lebanon and deal with the, Hezbollah situation in an appropriate manner. Israel will not be bombing Lebanon any longer. They are prohibited from doing so by the USA. Enough is enough. Yeah. Here's where it gets real specific. No money, material coming back, leverage still in place. That combination right there, man. That's what everyone claimed was impossible. But now, it's being said out loud. Suddenly we need more details from the other side. That's what I've been seeing. Because clarity, it gets real uncomfortable when it doesn't go the way that you predicted it would.
News Nation's Kelly Meyer just spoke with the president on the phone about these developments. I mean, fervent posts on social media. Kelly, you asked him specifically about all of this breaking news. Share with us the conversation.
Yeah, hey, Marty. So I just got off the phone with the president, and we are here in Las Vegas. We are traveling with him as he makes his way to Arizona today. But he has been posting this stream, as you mentioned, of posts on Truth Social. So I called him and asked and just got right to the point because the posts sound as though this has been agreed to. And when I asked, did Iran agree to the main sticking point here of stopping enriching uranium, getting rid of their ability to create these weapons, he said yes. So I said, did they agree to stop enriching uranium? He said they agreed to everything. And then he asked me, are you surprised? So I asked him, are you surprised? And he said, I'm not surprised by anything. And then he said, I'll see you later. And the call ended. So it seemed as though from the way that these posts are coming across on his True Social page, that this was a successful morning. He didn't give any more detail into what calls have been happening this morning. It's now, 7:45 here in Las Vegas, 10:45 in the East Coast. And he might have been having these conversations through the night and into the morning, but he's saying this is a great and a brilliant day for the world. He's saying that Iran agreed never to close the strait again, and all of these different posts. So it gives the indication that there has been big, massive movement in getting this deal with Iran.
Wow. What a development. We'll watch and wait and see if the president then responds in transit. Kelly traveling with the president. Kelly, thank you for jumping on the phone and for sharing that piece of an exchange that you had with the president on all of this a moment ago. As you can see.
And this is the part nobody wants to sit with. Agreed to everything. Stop enriching. If even half of that holds, that changes the entire conversation. Not the talking points, the actual reality. So now the real question isn't what happened. It's who's willing to acknowledge it happened. And I'm tired of this braid. Because pretending not to see it doesn't change the outcome. It just tells people everything that they need to know. At some point, you run out of ways to explain it away. You can argue tone, you can argue delivery, you can argue personality all day, but the results, they don't argue back. But the same people who promise one thing start acting like the opposite is a problem. That's not confusion. That's exposure. So if you made it to the end of this video, I simply want you to write, explain this. That way I know you made it to the end of this video. Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be saving their life.